right, 7.3, solving absolute value equations. We have 4 steps to solving an absolute value equation. Make sure you fill out each blank with me. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the problem down. We have the absolute value of m minus 3 plus 2 equals 6. Our absolute value equations have absolute value bars, and the first thing we're going to do is get the absolute value bars alone or isolated on one side of the equal sign. So right here, my first step would be to subtract 2 from both sides. So now I have the absolute value of m minus 3 equals 4. The next step is to create 2 different equations. Now those 2 equations, once we've isolated our absolute value bars, is going to come from what absolute value means. Absolute value is the distance from 0. So this absolute value of m minus 3 could be just m minus 3. Because whenever we take the absolute value of something, it is what it is, the distance from, and we set it equal to 4. But we know the distance on a number line from 0 could also be the negative version of that. So I'm going to put or the negative m minus 3 equals 4. Because this could be coming from, the whole thing could be a positive 4, or it could be a negative 4. So this value is either m minus 3 equals 4, or the negative m minus 3 equals 4. Because if I had this on a number line, the distance actually from 0 could be the positive over here, or the negative. Once we get our 2 equations, we are going to use inverse, if I can spell, inverse operations to solve each of your 2 equations. So for example, just solving for m. This is minus 3, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I get m equals 7. Or I have to solve it on this side. You can either distribute your negative sign, or you can divide the negative sign to the other side as negative 1. Either one would be fine. Just remember this negative right here cancels, and I have m minus 3, keeping the quantity the same, equals negative 4. Then finish solving by adding 3 to both sides, and I get m equals negative 1. So my 2 solutions are either m equals 7 or m equals negative 1. Our last step is to check both solutions to make sure they both work. So going back to my original problem, I'm going to try 7 first, and every time you plug something back in for substitution, make sure you put it inside parentheses. So I have the absolute value of 7 minus 3 plus 2, and I want to see if that equals 6. Well, I have the absolute value of 7 minus 3, which is 4. Doing my grouping first. The absolute value of 4 is just 4, and 4 plus 2 equals 6. So this one checks off. My second one, absolute value, and this time I'm plugging in my negative 1. So I have the absolute value of negative 1 minus 3. That gives me negative 4. The absolute value of negative 4, distance from 0, is positive 4. And 4 plus 2 is 6. So yes, both of our solutions checked off. The next portion that you have is you have 3 problems to try these on your own. Don't forget to check your solutions here. On the back side, you've got some more practice problems. Make sure you complete all of these.